the fastest way to stop missing calls and get a 24/7 receptionist is voice AI. And today I showed you exactly how to set one up yourself in under 5 minutes. If you're new here, hi, my name is Tim. I've been running the voice AI agency Eximus.io for the past 2 years, building conversational AI solutions that real businesses pay multiple 5 figures for. By the end of this video, you will have your own inbound AI receptionist answering and routing calls even after hours without you having to write a single line of code. So here's the plan. First, I'll walk you through the easiest possible setup inside of Vapi. Then we will connect it to your phone number. And finally, I will show you how to unlock advanced automations with N8N. And trust me, it's a lot easier than you think, especially with the templates I will give you for free. But before we jump in, here's a quick demo of the AI receptionist in action so you know exactly what we're building today.
Hello, Tim. This is Lisa from Titan Remodeling. How can I help you?
Hi, Lisa. Can you tell me when we talked the last time?
Hi, I see that your last contact was on May 15th, 2025. Would you like me to help you with anything else today?
Can you recall if we booked an appointment or not? I don't quite remember, to be honest.
Sure, I can check that for you. Last time we scheduled an in-home estimate for the following day at 3:30 in the afternoon. Would you like me to confirm the details or assist with anything else?
I think that's it, but I also don't quite remember why I called. I think I had a remodeling project in mind, but can you just, fresh up my mind about it?
Of course. You mentioned you were interested in a remodeling project, probably a kitchen, bathroom, or flooring. Is that right? If you'd like, I can ask a few quick questions to help you get your project details back in focus.
That's totally fine. Thank you. To get started, you are gonna go to Vapi.ai. This is one of the easiest variants of building voice AI agents with a nice visual interface. And what you're gonna do here is you're gonna sign up. I already have an account, so I'll just open the dashboard. And this is where you will land. Since we want to build an assistant, that's exactly what we're going to do next. So head to the Assistants tab and create a new assistant. Here you will give your assistant a name. Let's call her Lisa because it's a nice name. And you can choose from a template here. They are preset with certain settings, with also already a prompt. But for now, we are going to choose a blank template and set up everything ourselves. So hit blank template and create assistant. After you created an assistant, this is exactly what you will see. I will quickly go over a few settings here. If you want to have an in-depth explanation for how every setting is working, I made a video exactly about that. It's linked up here somewhere. Go and check it out and then you can come back. But for now, it's totally fine if you just stick here when you're completely new. First of all, the most important things, the cost. This is what your assistant will cost in production per minute. This is currently 10 cents and it's made up out of different cost types. This is not important at the moment. Important is how much it costs per minute. Then we have the latency. The latency is displayed in milliseconds and is basically the amount of time the AI needs to generate a response. So if I ask a question to the AI, it takes about 1050 milliseconds to generate a response back to me. Next up, we have the model. The model is basically the large language model which the assistant will use to generate a response. You can choose from different providers, OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, Grok, XAI, whatever you want. We are normally using OpenAI, and here you can choose from the different OpenAI models. We have basically everything that is available: GPT-5, 5 Mini, 5 Nano, 4.1, 4.0, everything you need. Just keep in mind that depending on which model you choose, you add latency, which is indicated in this number, and you add cost, which is indicated in this number. And this is both, well, the cost is per minute and the latency is just added on top of the latency on the top right here. What I am normally using is GPT 4.1 Nano, just because it's quite quick. It's quite cheap too. And also it has a quite big context window. You don't need to understand what a context window is. Just note that 4.1 Nano has a good context window. Other models that are quite often used are GPT 4.0 mini cluster, GPT 4.0 cluster. But at the end of the day, it just depends on what you're willing to pay per minute. and how much latency you're willing to add to the assistant. In general, we want to have as little latency as possible, and well, cost is something you need to determine on yourself. For now, we will just go with GPT 4.1 Nano because it will definitely be enough for this use case. Next up, we have first message mode. This basically defines if when someone calls the assistant, if the assistant speaks first or if the assistant waits till the other person speaks first. For the inbound assistant, we want the assistant to speak first, so we just leave it as is. And the first message obviously then is what the assistant is gonna say as its first message. So currently this is only hello, and we can then make her say, hello, this is Lisa from Titan Remodeling. How can I help you? Next up, we have the system prompt. As you can see here, the system prompt can be used to configure the context, role, personality, instructions, and so on for the assistant. This is the most important part of the assistant. In here, you tell the assistant who the assistant is, what role they have, what task they have, what steps they have to follow, custom instructions, compliance, everything that you want the assistant to do and to comply by goes into the system prompt. Important side note here, this is not for storing information. So if you have a knowledge base from your company, it does not go into the system prompt because it just makes it extremely long and not good to handle for the model up here. But if you have any instructions, they go into the system prompt. And to completely streamline the prompting process for this system prompt, to make it as good as possible, I went ahead and created a custom GPT. You can find it in my resource hub with the first link in the description down below. Just go here and go to Perfect Voice AI Prompting Template, and there you have the link. If you open it, this is what it's going to look like, and you will just click Start. And then just go through the instructions, exactly how the GPT is telling you to do, and you basically just go ahead and answer the questions here. So I'll do this real quick, fast forward, and I'm going to see you in a minute. When you went through all the steps of creating the prompt, this is what you will get. Just a markdown format of the whole prompt, and you're just gonna copy the code and go back to the Vapi dashboard and just paste it into the system prompt. And you probably don't really have to change anything about it right now. You will see through conversations how the prompt performs and what you're gonna need to change. But for now, this is totally fine, and you're gonna hit publish. Below the system prompt, you will have files. This is your knowledge base. So if you have any information the agent should know about your company, about workflows you have, whatever it might be, you will upload it to files. So you will have to select a file, and since we haven't uploaded one yet, we will have to add a new file. For this purpose here, I created a demo knowledge base about Titan Remodeling, just, you know, a mid-sized home improvement and remodeling contractor, just completely imaginary. And I downloaded this file as a markdown file. So hit download and markdown. And since we haven't uploaded one yet, we need to head to files. It's at more and files. And then we're just gonna drag the file in and drop it here, uploading. Perfect. Then we have a file ID. We don't need to copy it now. And with that, we can go back to our assistant and select the file. Hit publish, and now we even have the knowledge base. Next up, we have voice configuration. Voice configuration basically just, tells you which voice to use. We again have different providers. We have Vapi, we have 11 Labs, we have DeepGram. Most of them have quite good voices. I would suggest you either use Vapi voices or 11 Labs voices. The voice library from 11 Labs is really, really big, but if you find a Vapi voice that fits your case, it's better. They, in my opinion, just sound more natural. So we will go with Vapi, and we will choose, let's just take Savannah. Again, for your use case, you would go and listen to all those voices and just check which one fits your use case best. For me now, Savannah is perfectly fine. Next up, we will go to Transcriber and enable background denoising. This is so just if someone calls your agent and they have a lot of background noise, the Transcriber does its best to still figure out what the person is actually saying by removing background noise. We will skip tools, predefined functions, custom functions, summary, success evaluation, structured data. That's all stuff you can input information into, but for this basic setup, we don't need it. For example, if you wanted the agent to have appointment booking capabilities, you would have to add tools, but this is out of the scope for this video. I will definitely make a future video on how to add appointment booking functionalities to your inbound voice assistant, but for today we will skip it, as well as all the other settings. Except I forgot this, we will enable the end of call function. So this means that the assistant can end the call by themselves and they don't have to wait until the other person ends the call. So we definitely want the agent to be able to end the call, so we enabled this, but everything else we leave the same and we hit publish. And now you can see we have to pay 9 cents per minute and we have a latency of about 960 milliseconds. And now you could actually already talk to your assistant in pressing talk to assistant, and then they will connect.
Hello, this is Lisa from Titan Remodeling. How can I help you?
Hi Lisa, I wanted to book an estimate.
Hi there, just to make sure
And well, now you can just, talk to it. Also, I just noticed that the voice actually doesn't sound really that good, but it's fine for now. But if someone now calls your business, they still don't talk to the assistant. And if you want that to happen, you will need a phone number. And for phone numbers, we have different options. If you are based in the US, we can just have a free Vapi number right here. If you are anywhere outside of the US, you will have to use a third party, such as Twilio, Vonage, or Telinks. We use Twilio, and for that you will need your account SID and your Twilio auth token, which are basically your verification or your authentication of your account, and then you will have a phone number. In Twilio, to get a phone number, you will head to phone numbers and then buy a number. On this page, you then can search for your country code. I'm based in Germany at the moment, so I would use a German phone number, and then you will just buy that phone number. When you bought it, you will have it listed under active numbers. I won't go there now because then you can see all my phone numbers, but just, go there and copy the phone number and then go back to your dashboard actually. Copy your auth token, copy your account SID, and then go back to the Vapi dashboard. Then you will just input your phone number, search Germany, and I will quickly input the phone number. So this is the phone number I will use for this video, and then you will paste your account SID and your Twilio auth token here. Then you will name the phone number, and then you can either enable or disable SMS. I will do this off screen because I don't want you to see my Twilio account auth token, but I'm going to catch you in a minute. When you are done doing that, this is what you will see. So I labeled my phone number YouTube demo number. This is the phone number. Here we have the phone number ID, and now the only thing we have to do is to add the assistant to the inbound settings of this phone number. So assistant, select assistant, and then click Lisa. Then we will have to save. And now if we call this phone number, we should get Lisa as the assistant. Let me just grab my phone real quick and let's try it out. So I will type in the phone number and then call it.
Hello, this is Lisa from Titan Remodeling. How can I help you?
Hi Lisa, what is your task? What can you help me with?
Hi, I'm here to assist with any questions about our remodeling services, schedule in-home estimates, or provide information on projects like kitchens, bathrooms, flooring, and more. Are you interested in starting a renovation project with us?
Yes, I might be. Which renovation projects can I even start, with?
Great to hear you're considering a renovation. We typically handle kitchens, bathrooms, flooring, painting, cabinetry, and light structural work. Do you have a specific project in mind?
Yeah, I'm thinking about redoing my kitchen.
I see. Excellent choice. Kitchen remodels are one of our specialties. May I ask, are you a homeowner and is your kitchen within 30 miles of Austin?
Yes, I'm the homeowner, and we are indeed in the radius. Let me just check the zip code. We are in 78660. So, I mean, we could go through the whole conversation now, but this is just to show you that it works. And well, now we set up an assistant, we set up a phone number. This was just a short demo. If anyone now calls that exact phone number, this assistant will always answer the phone 24/7 around the clock, and you don't have to worry about a thing anymore. But this is quite basic still. You will have to revise the prompt here in order to, structure it a bit better and get the agent to perform exactly how you want it to. And again, you also maybe want to use another voice, but technically it works now. But there are a few small issues here. Number one, this is not really functional. Well, you can talk to it, but the agent can't do any tasks on its own. It can't book appointments yet because we haven't added any tools yet, and it also can't really dynamically use information the caller provides. So for example, if someone calls that is already in your CRM, the agent doesn't know that. But luckily, that's something which is quite easy to do and which we'll do in the next step with N8N. But before we go into the more production-ready inbound voice assistant, if you want me to set this up for you, so you don't have to worry about a thing, head to the first link in the description down below and I'll get you started. To get to the next level of these inbound voice assistants, we will use N8N. N8N is a workflow automation software, which is really easy to use. You will have a drag and drop canvas like this, and you can just drag all the apps onto the canvas and connect them and then build funny automations. And that's exactly what we'll use for the inbound assistant today. The good thing is we can connect Vapi, we can connect your phone number, and we can connect all of your already in use business tools, like for example, Airtable or your CRM, and connect everything together to give the assistant as much power as possible. But before actually building it, we need to understand two different concepts of voice assistants. We have a static voice assistant first. That's what we already built, and a static voice assistant is just always the same. So we have a phone number that is connected to a voice assistant, and when a call comes in, the phone number routes the person calling instantly to the voice assistant, which doesn't have any context, doesn't have any information about your CRM, whatever it might be. That's just the simple voice assistant we built. It's already useful in actually answering, just generic queries, but if you want to have really functionality, this is not enough. The second option is a transient assistant. This is a bit abstract, but for every call coming in, we create a new assistant. And what we can do is when a call comes in to the phone number, we will check if that phone number is in our CRM. So if there's an entry, and then we will get that lead information from our CRM and feed it into the voice assistant. And only if we have that information in the voice assistant, we answer the call. So we can open with a first line, for example, "Hey Tim, this is Lisa from Titan Remodeling. How can I help you today?" This just enables us to get really, really deep personalization with context from where the deal, for example, is in the CRM or the last conversations the person had with the voice assistant, and just have really deep personalization and functionality for the voice agent. And building that transient assistant is exactly what we're going to do next. And again, bear with me, it's not that complicated. But before we dive into the canvas here, you will go to your Vapi dashboard again, and you will go to the assistant we just created, hit code and copy. We will need this in a second in order to trigger the call, but this is quite simple. And now you will go to your N8N instance, create a new workflow, and then you should see a blank template, a blank canvas like this. I built a template, which again, you can grab from my resource hub and just import it directly into N8N via the three dots up here, and then import from file. This is how it would look like. And we have two things here. We have a webhook and we have a webhook response. The webhook is basically the endpoint to which, when we call the number, all the information is being sent. So this is our server endpoint, and then the response to webhook node here just makes sure that the call is actually being picked up. For the settings on the webhook, we use the post method. You can give it a name. Just use a descriptive name. I used inbound call webhook test YouTube. We don't have authentication set up, and this is important for respond using respond to webhook node. This makes sure that this actually works, because if we have set up immediately, for example, this will just pass through but not take any action. When you did that, go ahead and copy the test URL, go back to your Vapi dashboard, go to phone numbers, and then on the phone number you want to use, paste the URL you just copied into the server URL right here and hit save. This is so that when a call actually comes in, it's not being routed to wherever, but to this specific server URL, and therefore this workflow will be triggered. Next up, we have the webhook response. For this to work, you will set up a response with JSON. I think the default is all incoming items, but we will use JSON. And for the response body, you would paste in the assistant code you copied from the Vapi dashboard. Just, to bring it back to mind, on the assistance page, under the assistant, hit code, copy the code, go back to n8n and just paste it in here. We can expand this view to get a better look at it. And this probably seems really intimidating, but actually it's quite simple. You will have to do a few things here, but they are not complicated at all if you follow my exact steps I'm taking here. The first thing you now probably see are these variables. Everything that is red is an unmapped variable, meaning that if we had that information, this would be dynamically input into the assistant. So you can see undefined here because this is red, this is undefined. If we, for example, had the caller email over here, this would actually say the caller email. So for example, tim@eximus.io. For now, we don't worry about this. What we do worry about is these two lines up here, because we are gonna delete them, and then we're gonna press tab. We are gonna make this assistant. And it's important that you follow exactly as I do. This is what we are gonna add right after the very first curly bracket. This exactly, nothing more, nothing less. And then you are gonna scroll all the way down, go back to the last curly bracket, hit enter, go one line above it, and close the curly bracket we opened up here. This is important because otherwise this assistant won't work. The same goes for created at and updated at. You will delete these two lines. And what we are also gonna do, I think it actually should work by now. Let's just test it for a second. So if you set up everything correctly, if you set up the webhook URL in the Vapi phone number, if you remember, we go back, the server URL in the Vapi phone number, and you set up this correctly. So you input the assistant, you remove the assistant ID and org ID, and then they created it and updated it. Then I think the assistant should work already. Let's hit execute workflow to test it. Go into the phone and just call up the number.
Couldn't get assistant.
Okay, it actually doesn't work. I think this is because this one setting down here is server URL secret false. I think we need to remove this too. And really important here, I messed this up before and it took me ages to find. If you remove this line, you also have to remove this comma here. This is a must. So we remove this, we save, and we hit execute workflow again to test, and let's try again.
Hello, this is Lisa from Titan Remodeling. How can I help you?
As you can see, the call went through. We received the webhook from the phone number and we responded to the webhook with the assistant. If you do this exactly as I did, this will work for you. But if we have the setup only like this, only with the webhook start and the response to webhook, it's basically as dumb as before because we don't feed any information into it. And this is where the next step comes in. This probably looks really intimidating. Don't worry at all. You will get the exact template for this in the resource hub. Again, just download it and upload it to your n8n instance via 3 dots and import from file. What we do right here is we have the workflow trigger. So the webhook we input into the phone number under the server URL. Exactly what we did before. We didn't change anything here. It's exactly the same. And we have the webhook response at the end here. As you can see, we have 3 different webhook response depending on certain conditions, but all of them are exactly the same for now. The difference here is that between us receiving the request for the call and us actually answering the call, we do certain actions. And what we do is we query our database. I have used Airtable to create a small demo CRM. As you can see here, I inputted myself twice, once with the phone number I'm actually calling from and once with another phone number. And what happens is as soon as I call the phone number and request the assistant, the workflow here will check the database for my phone number and see if it has an entry. And if it has an entry, it will upsert my personal information into the assistant. So the assistant knows my first name, it knows my email address, it knows my last name, it knows when we talked last time. All that kind of information will be used with the assistant, so it has complete context. And if it doesn't find any information about me or doesn't find my phone number, nothing will happen. It will answer as default as before. So let's dive in. The first node we have here is edit fields. It's basically just a set node where we store information. And what we do here is we store the customer number. So this is the phone number I'm calling from. Let's execute this step here and go to the next one. In the next step, we query the actual Airtable database. This is not too important for you right now. You will probably not have the same setup as I do, but what is important is that we use the phone number from the previous step to check in the database in the column of the phone numbers for an exact match. So if we execute this, we will get a result, which should be this row up here because the phone number is exactly the same. So let's go back here and we can see the ID created at the first name, the last name, my email address, phone number, website, and previous phone interactions. This is important for the future. In the next step, we just evaluate whether we actually found a contact. So we check the ID of the contact if it exists. And if it exists, this should go to the true branch because it actually does exist. If this would empty, it would go to the false branch, lead down here, and we would create a new contact based on the phone number and then respond to the webhook as we normally would. But since we have the contact, we will check with another if node if this contact had previous phone interactions. So we go in here, we just basically pulled in this variable here, and we check if it is not empty because you can see there are multiple elements in here. If it was empty, this would evaluate to false, but since this is not empty, it evaluates to true. We use this because for agent context, we upsert the latest summary of a call into the system prompt. And obviously, if we don't have a call yet, we can't upsert it into the system prompt. So if we don't have that information, we go down to the false root and we just map normal fields like first name, last name, email address, but we do have that. So we go to the next step, which is get most recent phone interaction. The most recent phone interaction is the one with the index 0. And we basically just query the phone interaction with the index 0 against the call ID. Let's do this real quick. And we can see this is the call ID. This is the transcript of the call, and this is a quick summary of the call. So I called the Titan Remodeling to inquire about a kitchen remodeling project with a budget of $11,000, and I want to start in 3 months, confirming the address and booking an estimate at 3:30 the following day. And now we have information about me as the contact, and we have information about the last phone interaction I had with this assistant. And now we can use that data to upsert it into the system prompt and give context to the assistant. So let's go into the respond to webhook node. And now this is where it gets fun. First of all, we are gonna click expression. This means that we can use the information from the left dynamically in here. The first thing we are gonna do, since it's also the first thing the assistant will do, is we will use the first message to personalize it. So we don't say, hello, this is Lisa from Titan Remodeling, how can I help you? But we say, hello, and then space, and then we will go to the search contact in database, grab the first name and input it here. So now Lisa will say, "Hello Tim, this is Lisa from Titan Marketing. How can I help you?" And this is great because already in the first line, we have a big personalization, which will just set the tone for the whole conversation. And now this is where also the variable blocks in the system prompt come in, which previously stayed red, but now we can use them because we have the caller first name here, for example. We have the caller last name, we have the caller phone number, email address, fair enough, that's something we don't have at the moment, but you would use variables with information that you normally have about your customers. So if any of that customers call and you find them in the CRM, you can dynamically input the information right there. I will fill this out off screen for a second and then show you how it looks when I'm done. Great, okay, I now filled in all the variables to this assistant. Let's just fix this real quick. So now if this would trigger, as you can see on the left, it has all information about me. First name, last name, phone number, email address, website. This is the last date of contact and then a quick summary of the last call. And now it's really, really personalized. And if I call the assistant now again, I can ask it certain questions and you will see that it knows the answers. And now to test the assistant with all the variables, we'll just call it again and see if it works.
Hello, Tim. This is Lisa from Titan Remodeling. How can I help you?
Hi, Lisa. Can you tell me when we talked the last time?
Contact was on May 15th, 2025. Would you like me to help you with anything else today?
Can you recall if we booked an appointment or not? I don't quite remember, to be honest.
Sure, I can check that for you. Last time we scheduled an in-home estimate for the following day at 3:30 in the afternoon. Would you like me to confirm the details or assist with anything else?
I think that's it, but I also don't quite remember why I called. I think I had a remodeling project in mind, but can you just, fresh up my mind about it?
Of course. You mentioned you were interested in a remodeling project, probably a kitchen, bathroom, or flooring. Is that right? If you'd like, I can ask a few quick questions to help you get your project details back in focus.
That's totally fine. Thank you. So, as you can see, Lisa knew about the last contact date. She knew about that we actually scheduled the in-home estimate, and you can do lots and lots of things with it. You could technically feed in all the previous conversations, but this is totally enough for now. And this is what brings the inbound voice assistants to the next level, just elevates the service of your business for your customers with incredible personalization that not even a human would be able to do. Again, if someone sees this might look very complicated, but all the resources from this video will be available in my personal resource hub with the link in the description down below. So you can easily just import the templates from a file into your N8N instance. You will also be able to access the Voice AI Prompting Engineer GPT completely for free, and I have zero ask for that. I hope this gave you a solid idea on how to create inbound AI receptionists for your business, and in a simple way that you can easily follow. If you have any questions, please let me know either in the comments down below or message me on Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever it might be, and I will help you out. And if you don't want to go through all the hassle to set everything up for yourself, to optimize it, to integrate it into your systems, you can schedule a completely free AI growth audit with myself with the first link in the description down below, and we will get you going in no time. Definitely leave a like, subscribe to this video, and I will see you in the next one.